This is the sleeve that we'll be making today. It is made out of the waffle stitch. It is made out of 2 panels, a front and a back, that we will seam together along the sides and the bottom. The waffle stitch is perfect for this project because it is so dense and squishy. As you can see, it is very textured on the outside, which will provide that extra cushion, and it is also very textured on the inside, so it's safe from the inside out. Before starting this project, you want to decide if you want to have the side be open or if you want the top to be open. When you make your beginning chain, if you want it to be wide like this, you'll measure it this way. And if you want this side to be open, you'll measure it this way. It is going to look much smaller than your actual device, but that is because this will stretch out over time. And so we want it to be tight to begin with, because if we make it perfect, when it stretches out, it's going to be loose and it won't protect your device as well. We're going to begin by making a slip knot, and then we will chain a multiple of 3 plus 2 for our turning chain. But so go ahead and make your beginning chain. This is going to be different for everyone, depending on what they're making their case for, whether it's for a laptop, their phone, a Kindle, etc. So go ahead and make your multiple of 3 chain, and we want it to be able to stretch across the device that we're making a sleeve for, because it will stretch out over time. So just keep chaining 3, and I will show you what it looks like on mine when I stretch it across. So I ended up chaining 45 as my multiple of 3. As you can see, when it's laying across, it's not long enough. But if I go down to the side of my MacBook here and I stretch it, it is perfect. So once you have your multiple of 3, go ahead and chain 2 for your turning chain. And now we're going to double crochet in every stitch across the row. We're going to start in the 3rd chain. We're going to skip the 2 that we made for our turning chain, and we're also going to be crocheting into the back bumps. So we have the top loops of our stitch here, you turn it around and there's a tiny little back bump. That is the loop that we'll be working into. So I'm skipping 1, 2, and I'm going into this one, and I'm just going to make a double crochet in every stitch across. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you at the end of the round. I just finished my last double crochet. That's how row 1 is looking. And now we are going to chain 2 for our turning chain, and then we're going to flip our work. We're going to make a double crochet in the very first stitch. Alright, and so for this next stitch, we're going to work a front post double crochet. And so you're going to insert your hook to the right of the stitch, and now it's in the back. You're going to just pop it through on the other side of the stitch. So going from front to back and then back to front on the other side of the stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull that loop through, and then you're going to make a double crochet as normal. And that is our first front post double crochet. And now we're going to make 2 double crochets. And so as you can see, this is the stitch that we didn't work into, and this is the stitch that we are going to work into. We're going to work into the very next stitch. This is our first double crochet and our second. And we're just going to repeat that all the way down the row. We're going to make a front post double crochet. We're going to yarn over before we do that, insert our hook from front to back, and then back to front on the other side of the stitch. Yarn over, bring that through, yarn over, and complete as normal. Then 2 double crochets, front post double crochet. And you're going to go all the way until the end, where you're going to end in a double crochet. But I will check back in when I get to the end of the round. But just keep continuing that pattern. Alrighty, so that's how my row is looking now. I'm coming up to the last of the row now, so I just wanted to do it with you. I'm making my front post double crochet, followed by 2 double crochets. It's 1 and 2, and now I have 2 stitches left in my row. I'm going to do a front post double crochet in the second to last, and I'm going to end the row with a double crochet. And that is the end of row 2. So for row 3, we're going to chain 2. We're going to turn our work. That is how the back of this looks. And we're going to make a double crochet in the very first stitch. And we're going to make another double crochet in the next one. And now we're going to repeat a pattern of making 2 front post double crochets followed by 1 double crochet. And so we're going to make our first front post double crochet, and then our second front post double crochet, followed by our singular 1 double crochet. And we're just going to repeat that all the way across the row, making 2 front post double crochets followed by 1 double crochet. And I will meet you guys at the end of the row to help you finish it off. I am nearly at the end of my row now. I have my 2 front post double crochets that I need to do. 1 and 2. And now I have 2 stitches left in my row, and I'm just going to end it with 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And that was the end of row 3. This is how the back looks. It still has a really nice little texture to it. And here is the front. And so from here, it is just going to be a repeat of row 2 and row 3. And it is not reversible. Each side is different, which will help you follow your pattern. So as you can see, you'll be doing a front post double crochet followed by your 2 double crochets all the way around, because you want to keep the 3D texture going. And then on the back, you can tell that those are going to be your front post double crochets and your double crochets. And so it's really easy. Just keep repeating those 2 rows over and over again. And this is what your finished piece will look like. As you can see, there's a huge gap right here, but as it stretches, but you can see that it'll be really nice and snug once it does. And then this will also decrease in height when it stretches. And so as you're doing it, maybe make it 1 square higher than you think it's going to need to be, because it'll stretch down once we seam our 2 panels together to make our sleeve. At this point, you should have 2 panels that are the same size, and we are going to seam it up now. And so we want the right side to be facing each other, and we want the wrong side to be facing out. And go ahead and grab some stitch markers, line up your 2 panels, make sure that the sides are matched up evenly, and then pop your stitch markers in every 3 rows or so to help you keep track and make sure that you are sewing up everything evenly. We are going to seam them up with slip stitches. This is going to be my opening. And so I'm going to start here, work my way down, go across the bottom, and then work my way up. Go ahead and start by making a slip knot and popping that on your hook. Then we're going to grab our work. It's always a little trickier to be working along the edges, but we're just going to do our best to just make sure that we're going in through the same spots on each side. I'm going to go under the first double crochet or potentially a chain 2 right there. And I'm going to pull up a loop and make a slip stitch. And then you just look and find similar loops to go through. And you want to make sure all of your single crochets are spaced evenly apart to avoid any bunching or anything like that along the edges. It is a little bit of guesswork. The key is just making sure your slip stitches are spaced evenly and that they're always worked along the same edge. It might not look perfect, but you won't be able to tell at the end of the day, and the slip stitch is going to keep it really nice and secure. I've just reached my first stitch marker. I've made 6 slip stitches along 2 and kind of a half a row. And then when I flip it and I show you this side, really nice and secure, no gapping. And so just continue doing that. I'll meet you in the corner to tell you how to go around the corner, and then you'll just continue seaming it all up. So I just did my last slip stitch before I've reached the corner. And so now I'm going to go through the front and the back panel, and I'm going to make a single crochet. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to make another single crochet in the same spot. And now I'm at this side that has the tops of my stitches or the bottom of my stitches, but they look like little chains. And so I'm going to go through the front loop on the panel closer to me, and then I'm going to go through the back loop of the panel farther away from me, and I'm going to make a slip stitch. I'm going to do that all the way across, going through the front loop of the panel closer to me and the back loop of the panel farther away. And just do that all the way along until you get to this corner, where you'll do this again. You'll make a single crochet chain 1, single crochet, and then go ahead and slip stitch this side as well. And then it'll be done. So I just did my last slip stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and tie off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And now our last step is to weave in all of our ends. So I'm going to take these ones from where we seamed, and I'm going to weave it back through our seaming. And then our starting and ending chains, I have some hidden in here, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go through any nearby loops near where it is, and I'm going to weave in all of my ends on the wrong side as well. When you flip it inside out, your corners are going to want to be indented like this. Just give them a little push. My ends are all woven in. Here it is. And then this is the inside. And so the seams aren't the prettiest, but it could even be reversible if you wanted to have a little bit more of a plainer look. Like I said, it is obviously a very tight fit, but it will stretch out over time. So pop one corner in, bring it over to the other side, and then just slide it on. So there it is. You can hear how padded it is, how safe it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!